Are you disciplined like a martial arts kind of artist, or are you more of like a free flow kind of approach to how you do your music and whatnot?
I'd say a little bit of both, but I think that definitely when it comes to technique or anything like that, that's what I teach my students also, that it really is comparative to martial arts. Because a lot of people want to do things fast and be sloppy and not really get the fundamentals. It's like a drum rudiment. You've got to be able to do those techniques, especially the thumping and all the flamencos and all the things you can do with your fingers and funk and the Victor Wooten style of stuff. You really, if you want to play it tight and clean, you got to do it like martial arts. So yes, you have to take it slow and break it down.
Is there such a thing as like too much practicing, like to the point where you're over practicing and it's going to completely kill your vibe?
It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. I think probably the only thing that comes to mind thinking of that is that a lot of the times when you hit a performance with a band, or sometimes if you haven't played something and you play it for the first time, there's a magical thing that happens. It's like we say in sound check, usually when we get back together with the band and we play something in a sound check.
Yeah.
And it sounds amazing the first time, Then you play the second, third time, and it's still good, but there's some kind of magic that happens when you're kind of just no holds bar, you know what I mean? And you're playing from the soul. We always say that if you have a good sound check, the gig's going to be shitty, If the sound check is shitty, the gig's going to be great.
Oh.
So I think there's a bit of a thing for overplaying new stuff because sometimes there is a magic in it. I think also in studio sometimes if you're with some very proficient musicians and you're still, like doing live takes, which is not that rare. Sometimes the magic is in the first or second take.
Yes.
In the studio also when you're doing it live. The fifth or sixth, seventh, eighth time or something like that, then it starts to get a little wah-wah,
So, now tell me this. You're an immense live player. You've been playing live for like a very long time.
Oh, you're very sweet.
In these days, as you can see, things have changed a little bit. So live has kind of taken a bit of a break. Is this a welcome break for you, or can you just not wait for you to get back out there and get right back to it?
No, I like the people that I tour with. I like the way that we tour, like a 3-month tour probably, if not more, this year to promote a new record with one of the artists that I work with, Jeff Beck mainly. I love the people, This is a thing that some people don't necessarily understand. It's not always just about the music. It's not always just about how you play. Also, it's about the person that you are, because you have to live with these people. It's like a family. So there's a lot of things that go into being a band, or playing with an artist that doesn't have a band but hires a band. It's different from being the Rolling Stones, which is a group, or Rush or something like that. That's a group. But if you're having artists, somebody like Beyonce or somebody Prince, to hire you, it's a different situation. So you need to act accordingly and hopefully to be able to guarantee some longevity. I mean, that's a big thing. And a lot of people will ask me, how do you get the gig? But I think the question is more or less how you keep the gig. You know what I mean?
Oh, that is so true. As you get older and when you finally get experience, I find that the opposite usually is the case. You need this. And then when you get older and you get experience, you figure out everything you don't want. And then you wind up with what you need and make yourself indispensable and part of that ride, right?
Totally. How are you going to make yourself valuable? Exactly, Momo. Exactly.
What's life like when you're not playing for ROHNDA? Like, tell us some of that stuff that you like to trip out that doesn't got to do with bass.
Well, I love to cook. I do because I'm from Montreal. So, that's a city of great food, great Italian food, great everything. Just so many mixes of cultures and beautiful people. So I love to cook. I love wine, hence my slow wine music.
Exactly. Slow wine.
I like to work out. I've still done that for decades. I always continue to do that. I love to do finance on the side too. I like a lot of things. So I really like my downtime. And I like to write. I like to write music.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let this be known. Like, there are some things about RHONDA that you may have not known, but I've known her for years, and I'm telling you, she is a self-made genius.
Oh, please.
No, I'm serious, and a beautiful person that has invested into life, her career, and the people that she has met and passed through her, this is one of the only things you can hope and dream for no matter what you do.
Yeah, there's a magic, right, that happens, especially when you get to a particular time in your life when you know that what you're doing is what you were supposed to be doing. I believe that there's a certain peace that comes over you, and I think that people can even see a bit of that because it kind of exudes you. Rather than being someone, unfortunately, there's a lot of them who get up 9 to 5 all the time to go do something just to chase a check, and they really do not like what they do. And I think that to a certain degree that can cause some misery, because you're spending a very large amount of time doing something that either doesn't do anything for you, you don't get anything back from but a check. It could be even deeper than that, but I think that's unfortunate. Like you, I know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you exude this thing about you. You have this thing about you too that people can see because you're seated and you're comfortable, and that comes out in a lot of other great ways in your life. So I think that's a wonderful thing for people who know.
When I interviewed Billy last, he told me that he has his iPhone ready all the time to record any of his ideas, anything that kind of pops up in his head.
Smart.
Do you embrace technology in your creative process when it comes to grabbing ideas? Like, in the old days, we used to call our analog phone, if you remember. Quick, I'm going to leave it on my answering machine. There's no other way to do it. What do you do when you got ideas and stuff that pop up?
Absolutely. I use my Android. Absolutely. I use the voice recorder. And I do that a lot when I'm just practicing lightly, especially if I've taken a break for a while. I will come up with a bunch of bass grooves. I'm always like, oh, there's a song. There's another song. I'll barnyard them on my phone recorder that I haven't even gotten into. So yes, I think technology is amazing, and probably only some of the good things that come out of these coronavirus lockdown times are some of us are getting to learn our technology a little bit better. It's for me, when I get back into Pro Tools sometimes, it takes me a little bit of time to get back. If I've been out of it for 5 or 6 months or whatever the case may be, it takes me some time to make sure everything's working properly. There's nothing more frustrating than when you feel creative and shit's not working, and then you have to go fix things and do this and do that. And by the time you get back to it, you can't even remember what you were trying to be creative about. You lost that idea. So that is the worst.
My worst nightmare right there, which is why I am a 1-2 take maximum guy. If it doesn't happen in the first take while I'm writing it, it's like, I'm not going to do it. And it's over. And what's great about that too, when you capture all your ideas and then one day you forgot about some of those ideas, and then you go look at and listen to those things.
And you go, that's not so bad. And I agree with you on the 1 or 2 first takes. You've probably done the same thing, Momo. When we were back using 4 tracks, we had some killer grooves on 4 tracks sometimes. It just melded all together. But when we went back into the studio, it didn't catch that original magic, right?
The 4-track syndrome, I used to call that. It's classic. Quick, let's do the demo. And you're playing the best shit you've ever done on 4-track. And then the producer says, come on, we're going to dump it on the 2-inch tape now and everything's going to really sound good. And that's why I think technology today has given us the opportunity to just really go boom. What I like to do, and I think I've told you this, I'll spend like 4 days or a couple of days just doing drums on like 50 different projects that don't exist yet, right? And I know I can change those drums later. So then on a brand new day, I can come in and just say, guess what? Today I'm going to play on 40 grooves that I haven't written yet.
Dude.
And I just go boom. Now, how long do you think that takes? It doesn't take long. It'll take you a couple of hours, right? You can.
Your stuff sounds amazing, dude.
Oh,
For real. I love your stuff. I love your videos. It's very, very cool.
Thank you so much. Coming from you, the goddess.
And those are your own basses? That's your own bass line?
My signature basses, my music boxes. Yes, thank you. 8-string. Very, very cool.
Wow, really nice.
Amazing.
And very you.
Let's talk a little bit about effects and your love of effects and for live and recording. But what's going on with that?
I got tons of effects, and really it depends on what I'm playing and who I'm playing with. That's really what dictates, along with the bass that I'm playing. if it's a 4 or a 5 string or whatever, or if I'm using acoustic or a stand-up, or if I'm using a stick, or if I'm bringing fretlesses, whatever. But so my board is ever changing. There's certain staples if I'm bringing a board that never change for me. And a lot of those came from Prince, which is one using distortion all the time. My favorite is the Dan Electro, which is, the Larry Graham distortion, the fat tone. I got used to that sound, and he wanted that sound, so I use that all the time. I still do. Although right now I've changed to an Aguilar aggro. I really like this distortion. I also like to use the whammy pedal, the Digitech. Has been a staple with Prince also. Those were two of the staples that I would always need to have and use in a particular way. I like to have chords all the time. I mean, not all the time, but in my board all the time.
Yeah.
I like a lot of MXR stuff too. I love the MXR stuff. I think they do an absolutely fantastic job. I like the bass envelope filter. I love the sound of that too. I love delays, especially when I'm soloing sometimes, or if I have a fretless or it's something slow where I've got some room for that delay. I started messing with some Morley pedals recently, and I'm just loving these.
Yeah, they're really great. I use Morley's all the time also. And
I love them. And I love the distortion sounds too, mixing them a little bit with my aggro and mixing them with themselves and the wahs that it has. So I'm really getting into that and loving it. So my board is ever changing, but that's what it's looking like a little bit more.
Tell us quickly about your PRS. I've watched you play many different basses over the years, and over X amount of time ago, I've watched you go over with PRS. It seems to really suit you. They seem to be some really cool basses. Give us a little bit of up stuff on that.
It wasn't like anything that I had already. And that's what I really liked about it. I also like the way that the action does. And I'm speaking particularly about the Gary Granger. And I even took Gary's bass. Because they don't just have them laying around. I think you have to custom order them to get them. So I didn't want to wait, and I tried it. Gary lent it to me for a while, and I loved it so much. Everything about the action, his truss rod system is amazing. It's a 2-octave neck. And it just felt so great to me from top to bottom, and the sounds. And I just thought it was so great for slapping, and it was so great for soloing too. And it just had a lot of capabilities for sound. It was single coils, but it just had a different sound from any other bass that I had.
It's uniquely kind of fits with you in a beautiful way. Another thing that just ties to Rhonda Licious and her taste and what just works with what you see and feel, right?
Well, I tell you what, it was an idea buster for me, because I've had periods when I've gone back and forth and switched and done all kinds of basses. I really haven't played anything else, other than fretless, different fretlesses maybe that I might have played. But I haven't really played anything else since this one. And I call it Tequila Sunrise.
Oh, look at
brass bridge, which is really a big part of the sound, how great it sounds.
And those are PRS pickups? They're rail pickups, right?
Yeah, definitely. He designed them, definitely. Takes two, and you see neck, it's one piece pretty much. Beautiful. Takes 2 9-volts, very active. You can also play it passive. But, you get the inlays in the neck, too, which is beautiful. I like this type of neck. And it really takes a beating and takes it. And I think this one sounds so special because it is a little bit older. And it's just been beat, and it's just been around long enough where the wood's been able to breathe.
Is this the one that you took from the guy and said you're not getting it back?
This is the one I took from Gary. Yes. Sweet Gary. I said I'm not giving it back.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your love of dressing, the part of fashion, coordination. It's something that we both love, and a lot of the people that you've been involved with, especially with Prince, they seem to incorporate it into their daily lives. Like you said before, Prince, doesn't matter day or night, if he's in his pajamas, he's going to look good, sound good, he's going to be coordinated. Would you just be happy only wearing jeans and a t-shirt? Is it part of your musicality and who and what you are? Because I think it's an important factor.
Probably if I was at home, it'd be different, but that was definitely instilled by Prince. Performance is a different thing. I would probably never perform on stage in jeans and a t-shirt, because again, you spend so much time with somebody, and it was kind of law. You couldn't even wear jeans in Paisley Park. That's the consummate performer to me. I mean, it's about performance. It's entertainment, You're not supposed to go on stage and look like you just rolled out of bed.
Plus, poor Prince would be rolling around in heaven if he would be seeing you in a freaking t-shirt and jeans on a stage now.
It's about an image, and it's about all around entertainment. So that's something that all of us who have worked for him have learned. And some of us have to come off it a bit sometimes, because sometimes you might find yourself in a different situation with a different band and be overdressed.
Oh, you have to be overdressed.
When everybody else is looking at you like, what are you wearing? You know, you're trying to make me look bad because everybody else is in jeans and a t-shirt. There's a fine line there, you know, but definitely when it's my own thing, I think whatever you do, you gotta get along with everybody, you know.
You gotta adapt.
Intimidate people, you gotta adapt. Image is a huge part, and that definitely came from Prince. You couldn't wear jeans and things like that. No, you had to be dressed.
You've been a major inspiration to women out there, and I believe that this goes way beyond your musicality. But the ability for you to maintain that youthfulness, power, drive, carefully picking your battles and understanding that you have a solid plan to follow through, and that plan makes you the woman that you are today. Give us a few words, like what is the beginning, middle, and elevator pitch of what Rhonda could say to some women out there that they can latch on to?
Don't ask for permission. You don't need permission, first of all, to do what feels right for you. If it's the right thing for you to do it. And like I always say before, do it because you love it, and it's going to love you back. There's going to be obstacles everywhere. Like we always have that phrase, Momo. You know, there's an asshole on every job. It doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be somebody who doesn't like you, or that you don't like, or something. But when you're really striving and you want that experience, you just got to go for it. Don't ask for permission. I'd say it's the main thing. Certainly don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. That's why you should. That's why I play bass, because my brother brought a bass home one day and told me not to touch it. That started it. I was specifically told not to do it.
So therefore, everything that nobody believed could be done, you went ahead and you did it to the actual hilt. You might as well have gone to the fucking moon.
Totally. I mean, you know, in reason, you know, like I'm not doing, you know, like sticking my hand on the burner on the stove, or, you know, smoking crack or doing crazy stuff that people say don't do. But yeah, absolutely. I do it because it felt right for me, and I didn't need anybody's permission. It filled a place that nothing else could fill for me. I also like the challenge at the time. I think it's a good thing. What's life without a challenge?
What's going on with you right now? What are you working on? Where are we going? What can we be expecting with Rhonda Smith in the very near future?
I am finishing my record, and I will have some new music coming out soon. I'm just figuring out at this point. I was just about to mix before this whole COVID thing came over. Trying to figure out, in this new world of music, in this new age of music, most of us have to take a step back and think of how we're going to repackage and redo so that we can be able to regain some steps and be able to continue to make records, be able to continue to make music.
So a new Rhonda record is going to come out. Do we have a name for it yet?
I'm probably going to just call it RS3.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? That's simple. Yeah. That's effective. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. And maybe going on a tour with Jeff as soon as it permits.
We're scheduled right now to go back in April of 21.
Where's the best place for people to check out all of that is Rhonda?
Check me out on IG, Instagram, Rhonda Smith Bass. I'm also on Facebook, and my website, rhondasmith.com.
Which is absolutely fantastic, guys. When you go on rhondasmith.com and you start going through some of those videos and the way she's got everything laid out, you're going to really be surprised by what you're actually going to see historically, and just see how this girl has almost not changed a bit. Like she just keeps on looking hot, playing hot, being hot, sets the example
Momo.
For the world to
should
follow.
Work for me, Momo.
So, guys, look, I want to thank you from the bottom of our base hearts for taking this amazing time, quality time, to speak with us and share this amazing information on your journey and your beautiful voyage that is just so freaking inspiring that it gives me goosebumps in places that I cannot mention. So it's really, really amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Momo. I've been waiting for this. We got some more stuff to do. So I got much love for you and Krilla. Absolutely.
Thank you. Us too, sweetheart. Ladies and gentlemen, you are right here with Rhonda Smith. My name is Momo, and this is Bass Musician Magazine. We got the cover artist right here. Check her out.